Hello, midlifing listeners. Lee here. Simon and I have been talking about what we could get you all for Christmas. I thought it might be a nice idea to give some money to charity on your behalf. Simon, on the other hand, thought it would probably be a good idea if we were to just talk inanely for a little while and then give you a mini-episode, a minisode if you will, as a special Christmas treat. Because you're listening to this, you've probably worked out that we decided to go with the second option. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. What headphones are you wearing? I'm always jealous because I've just got these little ones.
These are just my regulars.
Well, yeah, I know, but what are they?
These are Sony MX.
Are they the active noise cancellers?
Yes, although they're in passive mode at the moment.
Right, okay.
Do you want me to put them in active mode?
I don't know what that means.
Well, turn the noise cancelling on.
But then, would you be able to hear me? That's not how noise cancelling works, is it?
No, they're my Lee cancelling headphones. They're really expensive. I think also people could just walk around the city, walk around wherever, go with Lee cancelling headphones on. What's that? I'm sure we should talk about cancel culture at some point. This is Lee cancel culture.
Oh, maybe that's what we should do. We should do an episode on cancel culture, but it's just about the quality of noise cancelling headphones that are currently available on the market.
Oh, sorry. There's another kind of cancel culture.
We thought we were talking about the culture of passively cancelling noise. This is a podcast in which two friends have serious conversations about silly things and silly conversations about serious things.
I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller.
Welcome to Midlifing.
You're now in Tier 4.
We are in Tier 4, or as I like to think of it as Tier after 3. I'm glad that the numbering system we have is infinite.
Yes. Yeah, I like that they're just going to keep putting more tiers whenever basically they want to make a kind of a suggestion that they're handling the situation. Don't worry, we're in Tier 7.
Exactly.
What's different?
I mean,
Nothing.
I think in March we will be in tier 9. And my Italian friends, bless them, what they stupidly, foolishly did in the Italian government was give them colours. So they have yellow, orange, red. What comes after red? Pink? Purple?
Oh, no, I think what comes after red is black.
Oh, actually it does too, because the same happens in the temperature scheme. When you look in Australia, it gets redder and redder, and it just eventually becomes this kind of charcoaly red.
Is that kind of like saying this is no longer compatible with human life?
It has that feeling about it. If ever a colour could make one feel that you should not be alive in it, it's that colour.
How are you? I haven't done the how are you question.
I'm good. I'm good. In fact, it depends on whether we talk about us in the future.
I just find this whole recording, I mean, on a workflow level, I find recording in advance delightful. But on a kind of existential, temporal level is freaky.
Yeah, it is difficult also because we have recorded for our faithful listeners, because we had an email from a self-described faithful listener, which I really liked. Yeah. And I did say to this particular listener that we don't really like our unfaithful listeners.
You see, now I'm not prepared to shame people. Kink shaming is not my deal. If people want to gong shower, if they want to be unfaithful with other podcasts, you go right ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just kind of
you let your freak flag fly, kids. Do what you need to do. Just remember, no means no. Actually, I'm going to be clearer about that. Yes means yes. Oh, I did get a text from a friend who's got 2 kids. They're one's adolescent adjacent and one's pre-adolescent.
Right.
I think actually one has now officially become a teenager, so I guess that means adolescent, doesn't it? And one is still a pre-teen, but not quite a tween.
I guess it means it depends on also whether you're talking about their behaviour being adolescent or their age being adolescent.
I'm talking about their age, not their not at
Shoe
all
size.
Their maybe we could do the twirl. You don't have to watch Dynasty.
I did not get that reference at all.
At your age, Mama, not your shoe size. Maybe we could do the twirl. You don't have to watch Dynasty.
Oh yeah,
To have an attitude. I'm gonna leave it all up to you. Is it your love will be my food? I might just be making this up now. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular side of a compatible will. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
Now, if you fucking dare cut that out, motherfucker.
I'm pretty confident that we can't afford the performing rights license, so I will probably cut it out.
No, don't you come up with some legal excuse to censor your singing self.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we were having a conversation with aforementioned friend, parent of children, about the notion of consent and at what point you start to have conversations about consent with your kids. We've got some other friends who have a very, very, very small child. I mean, she is 9-10 months old, so super little. But already they're asking themselves questions about consent. And it was in relationship to Yeah.
Wow.
Because they were asking questions about tickling. They were talking about the idea of consent. And how they're going to work through the idea of consent with their kids moving forward. And they've been doing a lot of reading about it because they had this sort of flashbulb moment of seeing their little girl go, I'm not enjoying this, but obviously not have language to be able to say, I'm not enjoying this. And then them having to say, maybe don't tickle her. She doesn't look like she's having a good time. Oh, no, she loves it. She loves it. It's like, well, actually, she doesn't look like it, and she can't say that she does or doesn't, so for now we're not going to do that. And they were talking about the discomfort that created. And anyway, I then had a conversation. Yeah. And there was a level of I thought it was just a really interesting and difficult conversation that they opened up, and I was super impressed with their thoughtfulness. But I talked about it with the parents of much older children, because I was sort of talking about it as how impressed I was with that, but also we've been having a conversation about when do you start to talk to kids about sexual health and all of those sorts of things. And Bob and I were talking about that idea of consent and consent perhaps being the most important thing to talk to kids about. But this friend the other day, she's obviously been reading widely in kind of
preparation.
Yeah. I think that's right, in preparation for how she might move on. But she sent us a brilliant link to an article from something called Mask magazine, which I wasn't aware of. And the heading, the kind of the abstract. It's not really an abstract because it's not that kind of an article, but you know what I mean. The bit.
I'm sorry. I'm just so happy that you fell. The word that came to mind was abstract, not précis or summary. No, abstract.
The title of the essay is On Seclusion. And the précis at the beginning is, what do you call the act of pushing a ring or tube onto something, like a vagina encircling a dildo? The opposite of penetration. Well, Binny Adamczak has a new term for us to denote just this, circlusion. And I just really had never thought about the gendered nature of language, which refers to the act of... You see, I immediately want to lead to penetration, but that is so masculine focused. Something going into rather than something going down. I just
or around.
Or around. Yeah, I just thought it was absolutely fascinating that somebody's been thinking about the language around sexuality in that way, and I was so delighted to have a new word, seclusion, rather than penetration.
Yeah, it is really beautiful, actually, isn't it? Yeah, I think I am just agreeing in the sense that I like that. Well, for one thing, words so define, the power of the metaphor of words, whether we're imagining them as being metaphorical or not, the way in which they define relationships and being human. And I love that. I love that a word like circlusion, is that what you said?
Seclusion, yeah.
I love that it changes how I understand something.
Absolutely, and it for me it was one of those moments where I saw the word and went, oh my God, my entire way of thinking about a particular act. I just found it fascinating to think, I've experienced that notion of seclusion, but never had a word for it. And and it's so powerful to be able to then talk about that. Because, there's that idea of penetrative or non-penetrative sex. Those are the kind of the linguistic
those it's either or. That's the Boolean aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you go,
was this or was that?
yeah, exactly. And so that I really liked that. I was really grateful for the text message. In fact, I was really grateful for the whole.
We could put that link in the show notes. I'm actually reminded of a friend at work who has been listening, and she said to me, "Yeah, it's been really funny and serious, and then also some really cringy moments." And I'm just thinking of her now, wondering, I wonder if this is one of those cringy moments.
Did she articulate what the cringe was for her?
No, and I was very tempted to dig a little deeper and find out.
Yeah, because, nobody wants to be, obviously somebody you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable by saying what makes you cringe, because it makes them cringe. They probably don't want to spend any more time with it. But it is also really interesting because I had a text from a friend the other day who alluded to the ejaculation in trousers of my friend.
This is from a past episode, just in case you're a first-time listener, short-term caller. No,
short-term memory loss. And
this is not something that's just something it just come to mind.
But that was a moment where he didn't articulate the cringeness. He just sort of alluded to the idea of, I'd never thought of you as a teenager. And I was like, that's an interesting thing. Yes, of course. I've never thought of him as a teenager either. But that messy hinterland between being
not
and then becoming an active agent in the world, and that confusing period in between where you start to work out what you like. It is cringy. It's super cringy.
It is, yeah, no question. And it's also because I think, we put people we have images or perspectives of people that, and if they start talking about things that reside outside of those frames,
absolutely.
I'm mixing metaphors here, but then, I can imagine that, that's might be a bit weird to listen to, or then there's the whole that's just two blokes talking about something that's really fucking cringy, which is a whole other thing. I was reminded of my oldest brother and my sister. They were having a party. This is years ago, so in New Zealand, and I would have been, I'm guessing, 10. So that would have put them late teens. And it was one of those parties where a lot of people start turning up, and I don't think our parents were there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If my sister's listening, she might be able to correct me, although it'll be too late at that point. And a friend of mine was staying over the night. I don't remember. Anyway, definitely had a friend of mine, and we decided we would start charging these teenagers to go to the toilet. Which was
that is such a genius plan.
It was a grand plan, and we were collecting. We were collecting, no question, and I think for the most part they thought it was very funny, right up until the point that a group of them charged in. Maybe there were 5 of them, held me spread-eagled, one arm, one person per arm or leg, and then the 5th person started tickling me. And I want to say I did not give them consent to do this. Let's be clear. And the pain, I can still just remember that exquisite pain of that, and the struggle and the sort of the hilariousness of the situation, whilst at the same time the painfulness of the pain pleasure aspect of that particular situation. But that was the end of our money making scheme.